welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. This is episode 213 of the Immigration Answers Show. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know why you care about immigration. If you're going through the immigration process, give a shout out so everybody knows what you got going on and so that they also can commiserate and empathize and understand what you're going through. We are lucky to have such a great audience. We love all of our viewers and we thank you all for tuning in. In today's episode, we're going to begin by talking about the USCIS Ombudsman. The Ombudsman. Now, that's such a strange word, the Ombudsman. But basically, the Ombudsman's job is supposed to be the advocate for immigrants and those who care and love immigrants, care about and love immigrants. The Ombudsman is supposed to help grease the wheels. The Ombudsman is supposed to find problems at USCIS and work towards solutions. Now, if you've watched this show for any length of time, you know that there are a lot of delays going on at USCIS, and you know that people have tried lots of things to overcome those delays. Those include reaching out to members of Congress, calling the USCIS number over and over, trying to be that squeaky wheel. And one of the things that you'll hear people mention from time to time is asking for the help of the USCIS Ombudsman. So this is a department sort of part of, but also outside of USCIS, and they're supposed to track complaints and try to find things that on a bigger basis, not on a case-by-case basis, but on a system-wide basis, try to make improvements or suggested improvements for USCIS. Now, the USCIS Ombudsman very rarely helps people get quick answers when their cases have been delayed. In fact, the Ombudsman announced last year that they were going to stop handling complaints that were strictly related to delay. And the reason for that, of course, is because so many cases were delayed that there was no real way for USCIS to prioritize or to make that better. So we are left with a situation where USCIS doesn't really have anybody watching out over them or advocating for the little guy or the little lady who are trying to even the playing field with USCIS. The reason I bring all this up about the USCIS Ombudsman is the law requires the Ombudsman to at least once a year provide a report to Congress. And I just received an email a little bit earlier today that the 2022 USCIS Ombudsman report is out. It has been issued and sent to Congress. Now, this was just a few hours ago, so we haven't had the chance to go over it, but I thought that before we got to the calls, I would share some of the highlights so that you had an understanding as to what it is that USCIS is actually looking for or looking at from the Ombudsman's point of view. So here are the highlights. The first thing listed, the avalanche impact of backlogs. Here's what they say. USCIS has frequently had to confront the impacts of its backlogs, but neither the backlogs nor the impacts have been as severe as the ones the agency currently faces. Lengthy processing times and the high number of unadjudicated, which means undecided cases, which they claim is a result of the pandemic's unprecedented effect on USCIS's operations, employee attrition, which means employees quitting, and insufficient revenue, have had a massive adverse snowball effect. Sorry about that. Some fools calling me from New York. A massive snowball effect on the agency's operations as well as its customers and stakeholders. To fully address the backlogs, USCIS must also continue to address their consequences. USCIS's commitment to mitigating its backlog of cases, as evidenced by setting aggressive processing goals for the end of fiscal year 2023, which would be September 30th, 2024, must be matched with a full commitment to eradicating the worst of these pain points for applicants and petitioners so that they may continue to work, travel, obtain evidence of status, and be able to access expedited processing when eligible in a meaningful and consistent way. Stated differently, this is Jim now, stated differently that there is no expedited processing now. There's no meaningful or consistent way for people to ask about expediting or to even expect it. The second point is the need for more flexibility in renewing employment authorization. Delays in renewing EADs interrupt employment for non-citizens, while at the same time hampering the ability of U.S. businesses to employ their workforce continuously. In the annual report, we recommend that USCIS build on existing efforts to mitigate the impact of EAD delays by increasing flexibility in the EAD renewal process, including for certain non-immigrant spouses, continuing to identify occupations where EADs might be expedited in the national interest, and further leveraging technology in support of EAD applications. And finally, they recommend allowing more flexibility in the I-9 process and eliminating the need for a separate EAD application in certain circumstances. Right alongside the delays in EADs, they also attack the increasing the difficulty that people are having in obtaining advanced parole, and they present several recommendations to reduce barriers to travel. The Ombudsman also calls upon USCIS to improve access to the expediting process. Here's what they say. USCIS operations have been affected by the pandemic and insufficient resources, resulting in longer processing times for expedite requests. The expedite request caseload has consequently increased, further diverting resources within the agency and making it challenging for USCIS to process these requests efficiently. Then they talk about the fact that the asylum backlog, so these are asylum cases, the backlog there have grown to 430,000 pending cases. That's almost 500,000 pending asylum cases. For those of you who watch this show, you know that we have clients who've been waiting 7 years to get their asylum case heard from 2015. Some of my favorite clients we've had since 2015. And then another suggestion is making it easier for people to get work authorization when they're going through the deportation process, especially asylum seekers. And then they call on USCIS to, again, make more effort to improve the digital aspects of USCIS of processing cases in an efficient and electronic manner, not in the lame-ass paper way that they've been doing for so long. So that's the latest from the USCIS Ombudsman. I bring all that up just because people think that I'm on a soapbox or a crusade about these delays. And while that's true that I am, I wanted you to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. I wanted you to hear it from the part of USCIS whose job it is to keep track of how slow and lazy they are and how backlogged they are. And so that it's not just me. That's straight from the USCIS Ombudsman's report. We will try to share that report itself out with people on our email list. If you want to get on our email list, send an email to info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. We can add you to the email list. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead. Looks like the waiting room is already full, and I'm going to go ahead and start the show off with Mo. Hi, Mo. You're on mute, Mo.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just want to say I've been watching your show. You're doing a great job. And I just have a super quick question. So I'm married to a U.S. citizen, and we had our interview on the 23rd, so about a week ago. And, I was freaking out. We had a whole backpack because you told us before that make an impact, right? So have a huge bag, have a huge old documents, show them that you mean business, right? So we brought everything from, over 1,000 paperwork. We walked in. The guy was like, you guys didn't need to bring anything. You're approved. I already checked you out. Everything's good. No worry. You don't need to worry about anything. I was like, awesome. So after we did that, we went over the I-485 questions, yes or no.
Yeah.
And I said no for anything except, have you ever worked illegally? I was like, well, while my EAD card was pending for a year, I was driving. I was driving Uber, and he said, "You know what? Don't worry about it. You're good to go. I'm not even to mention it." I was like, "Okay." He told me that you're approved. Everything's good to go. However, it's going to take 2 to 3 months for you to receive the green card because somebody with the same name as you are, and my name is Muhammad, I'm from the Middle East, right? It's like somebody with the same name as you are in a third country has some criminal charges. They should have cleared you out before you come in. They didn't. I don't know why, but they should have cleared you out, and it's going to take about 2 to 3 months for them to clear you and to send you the green card. 2 days after, the I-130, the petition, got approved online when the case status is approved. Everything is good, and they're going to send me a letter. Why not? But the I-485 turned from interview schedule to my worst sentence ever under being reviewed. The USCIS is actively reviewing cases. Like, oh, darn it. So that's what happened. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know what that means. When he said 1 to 3 months, is that really like an accurate time frame? Because my dad is super sick, and I told him, he's like, dude, you're approved. Don't worry about anything. Just you have to clear your name. I was like, okay. So what do you think about what just happened?
Well, do you have advanced parole?
I don't. I didn't get an EAD, didn't get advanced parole, didn't get anything at all.
Did you apply for it?
I did, yeah. It's been I applied in December 2021. So I got my interview last week. So it's been 6 months, which I think is phenomenal. It's unheard of, which I'm very grateful and thankful for.
What field office?
Tampa, Florida.
So this problem with the other person's criminal record is that can slow down your EAD and your advanced parole too. In theory, it can. So I got bad news for you. I think it's going to probably be more than 3 months. I think they're going to sit on the case, and the officer feels like he did what he was supposed to do. He probably clicked something that said, "Hey, you guys over there need to clear him, and let me know when you do so I can approve this 45." And then in the meantime, he's going to put 30 cases on top of your file. So I think it might be a while.
Is there anything I can do at all? Because I came here on a student visa, and I got my 2 bachelors, and I've been getting out. I had my OPT, so I had a work permit before. Just
That's
this
good.
guy with my name is making problems.
I mean, I think the only thing you can do, if you do need to go see your dad, I would focus on the advanced parole and because I think that's going to come faster. And if you applied in December, did you get separately fingerprinted, or did they use your OPT fingerprint?
No, they reused my old one because I already did it before.
Yeah. So that EAD and advanced parole should be coming soon, and I'd be focusing on that with USCIS. I'd give him the couple months that he asked for, and then I'd revisit it maybe 3 months from now and see where things stand.
But see, to be honest with you, like I've heard online, advanced parole, yes, it allows you to travel overseas. However, it's not guaranteed for Customs and Border Security. It's up to their discretion if they will let you in back or not. And when he was, I asked him that, he was like, when you have a green card, only a judge can take it from you. However, advanced parole, you do it at your own discretion. I was like, that's not very comforting.
I mean, that's true. That's true. That's the actual right answer. Yeah, well, if you can afford to wait, of course I would wait. But if your dad's sick, I would focus on the advanced parole. But
Awesome.
yeah, safer always to wait.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good luck, Mohammed.
Thank you.
All right, that was Mo. Let's say hi to Murtaza. Hi, Murtaza.
Hey, how you doing, Jim?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for your help and what are you doing? The
Sure.
question he asked is happened. My first name is Muhammad too. So any illegal stuff I do, it's happened with me. If I send some shipments or something, they hold my stuff to, like they said, your name is under review and all that stuff. So
Right.
it's like, yeah. So my question is, I have a intent to revoke notice on February 1st. So I was in Pakistan. I come back and I send all the documents. I changed the state. It's about underage marriage stuff. So I sent all the documents on the April 1st. And the April 27th, USCIS told me that they reviewed my case. And on May, they said we're sending your case to Department of State. So after like a half month, on June 1st, The Department of State, they received my case, but there's no status right now. So do I need to do like all the documents, like financial documents and everything again, submit to NVC, like D260 and all that stuff?
So let me just make sure I understand everything. You married someone in Pakistan. You filed an I-130 petition. USCIS approved it. You went through the National Visa Center. You went through the embassy. At the embassy, they're like, we don't know if we want to approve this. We're sending it back to USCIS. They sent it back to USCIS. USCIS then sent you a notice of intent to revoke, to which you fully responded. They were satisfied and sent it back to the State Department. And now you're wondering what happens next.
Yes.
And they basically sent it back 26 days ago.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be sitting for a while. How old was your spouse when you got married?
She was like 17.
And is part of the evidence that you submitted that it was legal in the state in which you lived?
Once I received the notice from USCIS, then I changed the state and everything, and I sent the laws with the everything. I have a lawyer too, so they sent everything and they approved it.
Yeah.
They reapproved it, the case, and they sent back to the NVC.
Yeah, so notices of intent to revoke that come after a case has been sent back to the embassy, those really suck. And the reason that they suck is because you've obviously proven to USCIS's satisfaction that you and your spouse were legally free to marry, not once, but twice. But somebody at the embassy doesn't like your case, and they're trying to slow down your wife from coming to the United States. So this might be, I mean, when did USCIS approve the I-130 the first time?
It was on 2020 on August.
So the State Department has almost had the case for 2 years.
Yes.
Right? Other than the fact that they sent it back, but they've had the freedom to allow her to come for 2 years. So what I would say is that June 3rd is just not even a month ago. I'd give them 3 months from June 3rd. So that's July, August, September 3rd. If you don't have a decision by September 3rd, I would sue the State Department, because otherwise I think you're just going to wait longer and longer.
So she's going to do the interview again in embassy in Pakistan?
Maybe, but more likely they'll just ask her for, if they want to give her the passport, if they want to give her the visa, they'll just, do they have her passport right now?
No, they send it back.
Yeah, so they would react. They would ask for the passport again, and then they would go ahead and issue the visa. But they might just sit on the case for a long time. I don't know what's going to happen.
All right. Yeah, it's just like 25 days ago, NBC had my case, and then I just wondering, do I have to submit the financial documents or DS-260 again and everything?
No. You're just waiting for them.
No pay the fees, no fees, right?
No fees.
All right. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
Bye, Murtaza. See you, buddy.
Bye-bye. See you.
All right, let's say hi to Denise. Denise, are you with us?
Hey, Jim, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate your time, and thanks for what you do for the immigration community in the US.
Yep.
And I have a question for you today. So my question is, so I just got my green card. I got my green card through Asylum.
Okay.
So I'm originally from Ethiopia.
Yep.
And I have been here since 2009, and so almost 13 years. So I just got my green card after 13 years. And I have my fiance who lives back in Ethiopia. And I always wanted to bring her, but it was a lot of obstacles for me to bring her because I am not a green card. I wasn't a green card holder or U.S. citizen.
Yep.
So I was watching one of your videos in which you mentioned that in order for someone to bring their fiancés, that I have to be a U.S. citizen. But there's also another option that I can bring her with a green card. But for that, I have to be legally married to her.
Correct.
Which is, we are planning to do that. So so I've been with her for 5 years now, and we have made a couple of times since I cannot go back to my country, which is Ethiopia. So we made in Kenya twice, and so we are actually planning to have a wedding in Seychelles next year. So which will be, everything will be legal. So what would be the requirement for me to apply for 130 after the marriage, or what are the required documents?
Yeah. So when the time comes, and once you're married, you'll file an I-130 and an I-130A with the USCIS. So the first step is proving up that this is a valid and legitimate marriage. So you'll file the I-130, which is all about you, and then the I-130A, which is all about your spouse. And then you want to submit all the evidence that you can of your relationship. So if you want to, you can go to our website and download the list that we give to our clients. It's hackinglawpractice.com/marital, MARITAL -evidence. And you can download that list. But basically, you're going to want to prove to them how long you've known each other, the times that you've spent together, the trips you've taken together, chats that you send to each other, any money that you've commingled or anything you've done to show that it's a married life. I mean, they're going to understand that you'll have just gotten married, that you just got your green card. So you're not going to have a ton of evidence. Like, it's not going to be the same as if she was in the United States and you were able to open a joint bank account and those kinds of things. But they are going to expect you to really nail down when you've met, when how you know each other, how the relationship went. I would probably include an affidavit from you and from her about how you met and what the relationship has been like, why you decided to get married, why you want to live together in the United States, and then whatever chat or text or other ways you have of communicating, phone records, any of that stuff to show that there's been this ongoing relationship between you and her.
Okay, so that sounds good. So one more question I have was regarding witnesses. So I heard that we need to have a witness in order to have a marriage because because our parents cannot travel overseas, which is gonna be very costly for parents or relatives to travel for our wedding. So it would be just the two of us and also maybe a couple of friends. So do we need to have a witness in order to do that?
I think that would be helpful. Yeah. And they're going to want wedding pictures and stuff. So make a big deal of it. Even if it's a smaller wedding, you still want to make a big deal of it. And yeah, I would try to get people to go if you can. I know it's expensive, but you're going to want to prove up. The wedding is going to be part of proving up the relationship. But if you have other stuff, you should be okay.
Okay. Sounds good. And that was my question for today. Thank you so much, Jim.
Well, congrats on getting married and congrats on your green card.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. It means a lot.
Have a great day, my friend.
You too. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. All right, let's say hi to Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I have a question. So I have a case pending, a form pending with USCIS. My wife petitioned me. My I-3 was approved in 2020, and now I have a 601A pending. They took my biometrics on August of 2021. And my question is, I mean, it's been a year now since we submitted the waiver, but my question is, some developments have happened in my life. Like, we're suspecting that my wife might be pregnant. We have a child, and she's probably pregnant. But also, my kid, well, he wasn't diagnosed, but he's required to have special education, like one-on-one education, because he's a little behind on milestones and stuff, like the fine motor skills and other stuff.
How
So
old
my
is he?
question would be, can I ask for to expedite my waiver? Is that possible
Sure.
with these developments?
Yeah. Did you
I
submit?
mean, it's been a year. Pardon me. I know it's been a year, but I believe it's about a little over 2 years for a waiver to be decided upon.
Did you submit all that evidence about your son with your 601A?
No, this is like been happening like recently, almost at the end of his school year, which just ended this week.
How old is he?
He's 3 years old, 3.5.
Yeah. So I think what I would say then is I'd want to document all that, get that down on paper, maybe a report from the school or something. So you need something to document it, and then you need to explain why your case should be put ahead of other cases. So I mean, you're here in the United States, so I think the fact that he's behind developmentally helps your waiver case. I don't know that it's necessarily something they're going to expedite, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my question, because I mean I'm fine waiting, but
Yeah, I'd be focused more, Daniel, on making your case better than I would about speeding things up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if your wife's pregnant. I mean, you've got a lot of new stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's not a sure thing, but we're suspecting that might be the case. But if that's the case, I may be forced to do that, because I'm fine waiting for now. But a second child and me not having access to a better paying job and works.
I would get a letter from the kid's school and from their doctor.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, Jim. Well, before I go, I want to thank you for all your help that you're providing to all the immigrants and all the people that come seeking your help. And well, thanks. Keep it up. Thank you so
Got
much.
it. Good luck, Daniel. Take care,
You.
buddy. All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Daniel. Not our usual friend, Daniel. We missed Daniel Axelbaum, aka Daxel, aka Steve. We look forward to him coming back on the show. Hopefully one of these days soon. He'll be not so busy that he can come hang out with us. All right. Let's say hi to Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I have two little questions for you. So the first one is I filed my I-485 in 2021. So I got my combo card. August will be a year that our status is waiting for an interview. But I really need to go home. So where I'm from is the British Virgin Islands. So initially I would go down to St. Thomas, which St. Thomas is a U.S. territory. So I don't think the problem will be there, but I'm concerned about would I be able to get back in on my combo card?
Well, let's back up. So your green card is based on marriage?
Yes.
And how did you enter the United States?
Oh, I came up for college, so I did OPT, F1 visa and then OPT, and then I got married. So I did an adjustment.
So you were in status when you got married?
Yes.
And you were always in status?
Yes.
And which field office will have your interview?
Atlanta.
So they're really busy, so that's why it's taken so long. So to me, this sounds like a pretty generic marriage-based green card case. And you have the advanced parole and the work authorization. You haven't been out of status. So I feel pretty comfortable with you traveling. I'm not worried about it too much.
Okay. Yeah, that's my concern, because they say it's not guaranteed, but I don't know what will make the officer not let you back in.
I mean, yeah. So to me, you've never been honest. So these are the kinds of people that I would say don't travel until you get your actual green card. One would be like someone who had been in the United States for years out of status, or had worked while on F1 without permission, or had come on a B1, B2 visit visa and then just stayed. You've always followed the rules. You've always maintained it. And frankly, you're from a country that people don't really get all that worked up about at CBP. So I think you're going to be fine.
Okay. Thank you. And the other question is, when I do get my green card, when would I be able to sponsor my mother? Would that be, can I do that as a green card holder, or would it be citizenship?
Once you get your citizenship. So if you're green, you'll have to wait 3 years from the start of your green card to apply for citizenship. As long as you're still married, then you can apply for citizenship. So that'll probably be 4 years later or so.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. That was all my questions.
Good luck, Melissa.
Thank you so much.
You got it. All right. Let's say hi to Olu. What do you say, Olu?
How you doing, Jim?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. The last time I was here, I was going for my citizenship interview. Everything went well.
Great.
Did the whole ceremony, everything well. Got my passport about 2 weeks ago, so everything is fine. I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. I'm happy to hear it. That's great.
Yeah. So the other question I have is, I have two of my kids. I filed for them. I have the I-130. and for some reason it was sent to California, and because of their backlog there, I requested it being expedited because my son is truly sick. So that was granted, and it was sent to MVC.
And they know
I
you're a
got to
citizen.
MVC.
They know you're a citizen now.
Yes, I am. I told them that I did the update there. So I got to MVC. I requested it being extradited, to which they did at MVC
Great.
also. So, but my issue is now with Lagos office, they sent me an email saying I should go online and book my own the interview for them. My question is, am I supposed to pay them again? Because the email they sent me says something about visa fee, but I already paid for the 260 DS 260 with MVC. So that's where my question is.
So you paid $445 for each kid?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're fine. You don't have more fees to pay. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay. So then what documents am I supposed to take to the interview that they're supposed to take? Because I uploaded everything.
How old are they?
I did upload everything. Are they supposed to take that also?
How old are they?
13 and 11.
And what does their mother say about them coming to live in America?
She's fine with it. She's living in Nigeria too. I'm going to the UK for something, but we don't talk that much apart from the kids. So,
but do you have written proof that you have permission to take the kids to the United States?
She's the one taking them to the interview. So yeah.
Oh, she's taking them to the interview. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're not going to the interview?
No, I'm not.
So, how long have you been in Nigeria?
The last time I went there was last year.
Sorry. I mean, how long have you been in the United States?
7 years.
I don't know that I like I don't know that I like their mother taking them to the interview.
If you want me to take them, I'll buy a ticket and go home. I just felt I didn't want to go through questions like you just asked me, do I have permission and stuff like that. I just felt,
well, that's and you cannot want to do that, but that's part of your burden. Your burden, if you want to take children out of their home country to the United States, you've got to prove. Like what I would probably do is get notarized statements from the mother, get a lawyer to help you prepare them, get them sworn that she's comfortable with them getting green cards and coming to the United States. My concern is that if she goes to the interview, that they might try to cause mischief and trouble for you, Olu, and your citizenship by trying to make it out like you still have some relationship with her or something, and then everything sort of gets really messy.
Okay.
I don't think anything good can happen by having her take them.
Okay. I'll buy a ticket. I'll go home then. That's fine.
Cool. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Good luck, Olu. Keep us posted, man.
Thank you. We'll do.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
All right. Let's say hi to Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I have two questions. First one, if your office is doing an immigration court in DC.
No, we don't do deportation anymore. The only deportation we do now is if someone is in deportation court and has married a U.S. citizen and can now get a green card based on that marriage. Other than that, we're not doing deportation. But there's a really good attorney named Ava Banash. I can put in her name here, and I would call her if you need a deportation lawyer.
Thank you. And my second question is, one of my friend, she just got her tourism visa for 5 years, but her first trip to the US will be like in 5-6 months, if that will be okay with her.
Sure.
So there is no timeline from the first time?
Nope.
All right. Thank you so much.
That was easy.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mohammed. See you, buddy. All right, let's say hi to Ben. What's up, Ben?
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm great. What can I help you with?
Just want to let you know that we received our green cards last week.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was surprised that they never called us to go for an interview. So
that's great. So would you mind going through your timeline for everybody just so they know, because this will make people happy?
Yeah, so I was on the DV lottery of 2022. So we sent our paperwork to immigration on March 18th, and then we did our biometrics on May 5th, and then on June 10th, that is when they approved our I-485.
Wow. And you got the green cards already.
Yes, yes.
That's tremendous, Ben. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, we are very much grateful because I called your office and they gave me some tips. So yeah, it is my daughter is actually happy from the background. Don't mind her.
Great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for letting us know the good news.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Have a good day, my friend.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
All right. All right. Well, how about that? A green card through the diversity visa in less than 2 months without an interview? Are you kidding me? Maybe things are changing at USCIS. Maybe I need to stop bad-mouthing them. What do you guys think? Should I stop bad-mouthing them? I don't know. That's pretty remarkable, though, to think that someone on the diversity visa could get a green card 60 days or so from filing. Let's say hi to Dastan. Hi, Dastan.
Hey, Jim. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for the opportunity. Ask questions
Sure.
from you. Yeah, I watch a lot of videos about you from the YouTube. Thank you one more time. Yeah, I have two questions, Jim. So first one, I got approved my asylum-based application back in 2019, and then I applied to the adjustment of status and back in 2020 October, and since then I'm still waiting. So my status was changed, like fingerprints were taken, and that's it. So 21 months already passed and nothing changed. And my question is, can I do something? Because I already did some e-request or service request. And also I contact to my congressman, and they did the inquiry about my case as well, and my wife's case, and still no response. This is my first question.
If you have your interview, which field office will it be?
So basically, my situation is a little bit different. So I came through the from Mexico. I mean, like through the border, and my case was transferred. Not the, I think, asylum officer. It was like removal proceeding
Yeah.
in the Philadelphia. Yeah, and we won the this court back in 2019. So
Good for
I
you.
was granted asylum granted,
Yeah.
and then so.
But where
It
do
was
you
in
live? Where do you
Philadelphia.
live? Where do you live right now? Is what city? What big city do you live by?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so that's good news because the Pittsburgh field office, they have the highest approval rate on green cards in the country, and also when I've sued them probably 5 or 6 times. They move very quickly, so I think if you sue them, you'd have an interview in about 2 months, and I think you might need to sue them because when you get asylum, that makes it harder to get your green card. It's harder to get a green card off of asylum than it is for a marriage-based case. But when you get when you get asylum from the immigration judge, it's even harder because your file's over there, you were in deportation, it sort of just slows everything down. So I think that unless you sue them, you could file a lawsuit for you and your wife. I think you get an interview in about 2 months and a decision about a month later. So it's the only thing that works. You asking your senator or congressperson, those things don't really help. So the one thing you can do, I think, is to sue them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and thank you for the response. Second question is, while we were escape from my country, so I'm in the from Middle East, or how to say, Kurdistan.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, my wife, she was pregnant, and might be this stress get some effect on my son, like older son. I have two sons right now, like 4 years old and 2 years old, and seems like the doctors get it something with autism with my older son.
Okay.
And because he didn't speak and he didn't understand the simple questions. If I ask him like, where did you hurt, like yes or no, answer me, he doesn't know this. He don't know how to answer, and this is also very stressful to my family and my
Sure.
wife. And we were talk with some doctors, and they tell us, because of we are Russian speakers, like from my country, and here's in daycare and everywhere in English. My son seems like he's got some confused, and we were thinking about it to show him to the like Russian speaker, maybe doctor. And question is, can we expedite, like for example, if we want to go to the Turkey, for example?
Well, why do you want to go to Turkey, and why should that be expedited?
Because my wondering is because we were talk some doctor online, and he told us like we have to show him like offline, or how to say, sorry for my English,
Face to face.
Yeah, face to face. Yeah.
But why don't you just go to a doctor in the United States?
Yeah, we already asked them, and they said like we will be work with him already. Speech therapist work with him like more than 1 year, and seems like doesn't help.
Then I think the answer isn't to go to Turkey. I think the answer is to find another doctor.
Yeah, to find another doctor.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots. This is obviously outside of immigration, but I would just start researching the exact diagnosis my child has for autism. And then I would look around in Pittsburgh or in Philadelphia or, wherever you can, of who are the best people to treat this autism. I believe you're going to get much better medical care in the United States than you would in Turkey. At least that's what people tell me.
Okay, yeah, that was my question, and your recommendation, it's sue the United States, like USCIS.
Sue USCIS, yeah.
Do you know why I heard about a lot of things about this? I'm just like simply, this country protect me, and how I can like sue some government organization.
This is like in Kurdistan, if you sued him, my wife says that, like, she's from Egypt. If you sued the government in Egypt, they'd come kick your door in and arrest you, right? So
yeah.
So just so you know, I've sued them over 1,100 times. 1,100 times. And it sounds really scary when we say we're going to sue USCIS. Like, oh my gosh, they're going to get so mad, because not only do we sue USCIS, we also sue the director of USCIS. So some people think, oh man, you sued the director of USCIS. She's going to go and find my file and deny it right away just because I sued them. That's not how it works, and it's not scary at all. So what happens is you send me your receipt notices for your 485 for you, and I don't know if your 4-year-old is a citizen or a green card asylum grantee. Citizen, yeah. So for you and your wife, we would put in all the information into the lawsuit. We would mail a copy of the law. We'd file it in federal court. We would ask a judge to order you. We would say, Judge, Dastan's case has been taking way too long. Will you issue an order telling them to hurry up? Now, that sounds something scary. That sounds like you're going to make them mad. They don't get mad. They don't take it personally. In fact, lawsuits are way, way up because of all these delays. So all that happens is, so they'll say, okay, let's look. Who's got Dastan's file? Oh, it's in Pittsburgh already. And then they go, okay, who in Pittsburgh has it? Oh, that's Joe down the hall. And then they go, Joe, what's going on with Dastan's case? He goes, oh yeah, this guy, I remember this. He goes, I'll call him in for an interview. And then they just get moving on the case to make the lawsuit go away. I don't ever go to court. You don't ever go to court. I mean, very rarely do I go to court, but you don't ever go to court. It's just really a way to get their attention. And then once they decide the case, then we dismiss it. So It's not scary. They don't get mad. They don't even talk about it when you show up at your interview. It's just business.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I will contact you, Jim. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. That was our new friend, Dastan, in Pittsburgh. I love the Pittsburgh field office. We've had a lot of fun in Pittsburgh. In fact, in suing Pittsburgh, I think that the bosses for the Pittsburgh office are actually in Buffalo, because the last time I sued in Pittsburgh, the attorney for USCIS, not the government attorney who defends the lawsuit, but like an attorney that works for USCIS out of the Buffalo office, said, Jim, I'm not even going to bother the U.S. Attorney's Office with this. Let's just work this out, and then you can dismiss. So I always have fond memories of Pittsburgh. And another one is the Pittsburgh office was closed during COVID, right when COVID hit. Do you remember that sort of March to May 2020? Nothing was happening. Nobody was doing anything. We sued that Pittsburgh office during the height of the COVID scare when nobody was leaving their house, and they naturalized my client during that 2-month period. So it's fun to sue the Pittsburgh office. We really like them, and they make life easy on us. All right. I got to call the next person I have to call. Her name's Tamara, and I have to call on Tamara because Tamara is my assistant, one of my paralegals, the head of the paralegals in the lawsuit department. So I have to call on Tamara. Hi, Tamara.
Hi, how are you, Jim?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. So basically what my question is, I'm in the process of doing an I-130 for my husband, but my question is basically about the I-864A,
Yep.
the one with the contact between sponsor. So it asks for, you have to use a dependent. So dependent don't file taxes. So is using his W-2 form would be the correct document to use to put in when I'm using that particular paper form?
Okay, so let's back up a minute. So you filed, is your spouse in the United States or out of?
Yeah, no, he is out. He's out of the United States. He lives in he's originally from Jamaica, but he lives in Tatola.
Okay, and so you filed an I-130 petition with USCIS, and that's been approved?
Well, it's pending, so I'm trying to get all my documents.
Smart.
So that way when I get the letter, whatever the case may be, I can know exactly what I need. So I'm using my son because my son lives with me. So he's my dependent, and he also works to do the house, to make up for the household.
How much did he make last year?
My son, about 20,000.
So you can't add his and yours. He needs to make enough to be on his own. If you don't make enough, you need one person that makes enough. You can't add yours together. They won't let you do that.
Okay, so if I'm used, I thought with the contract between the sponsor and household member, you could add it together.
But they say that you can, but it's very hard to get them to approve that.
Oh, okay.
So I would say, since your I-130 is still pending, I would use this time to try to find someone who, if they're single, makes $30,000 a year for each of the last 3 years.
Okay.
If they have kids or a spouse or dependents, then you have to add about $6,000 for each person. So I think that I would spend my time focused on that right now.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what I needed to know. Well, which one would be the option? So, okay.
Thanks, Tamara. Good luck.
All right. Thank you. And you have a good day. And thank you for what you're doing.
My pleasure. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
See ya. Oh, yeah. Cooley asked me to give you a reminder. Our legal fees at Hacking Immigration Law all go up actually at 3:00 tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to redo the system and update our systems, and the fees are all going up July 5th. And most fees are going up somewhere between $500 and $1,500. We haven't raised fees here in about 2 or 3 years even. So we probably were a little bit slow on that, and we actually will probably raise the fees again. But we have a really great team here. We want to keep them all happy and keep them all well paid. So we have to raise our fees. Let's say hi to Jashinker. What do you say, Jashanker? You're on mute.
Sorry. Hi, Jim. Good afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you so much for all that you do. Yeah.
Sure.
So I have a question for one of my friends, actually, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So he is here in the US. He has his EB2 based I-140 approved. And in 2020, October 2020, when the dates were moving in leaps and bounds, his company downgraded his application so that he could file in EB3 for 485. And then of course the EB3 date started retrogressing. EB2 started moving faster.
Yeah.
So in January of this year, January 10th of this year, his company filed for interfiling so that he could be considered in the EB2 category versus EB3.
Yep.
And then I think with some recent change with USCIS, again they had to file or do an interfile on June 8th this year with the I-485J.
Right.
And that is where he stands. He's still not
So
received.
so they send a request for evidence for the 45J, or the company just did that on their own?
I think the company just did that on their own.
Okay.
So just to make sure he gets considered for EB2, I guess.
Yep.
So right now his company or team is not doing very well, and he started looking out for new jobs. Yeah, I know. He doesn't have his EAD or advanced parole yet. So in this situation, the question was, will his 485 clock get reset whenever you file the 485J or do the interfiling, or does it just remain with October
No.
2020?
Yeah, no, it remains. But
It remains.
So I assume this is that all he has now is the 45 and the pending
Yeah.
EAD. He doesn't have an H-1B, or the H-1B didn't get renewed.
No, he still has his H-1B.
So
His current immigrant status, non-immigrant status is still H-1B.
So as he's looking for this new employer, that includes he would do that under the H-1B
Correct.
aspect. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he would request the new company to do an H-1B transfer,
Yeah.
and then try to do the 485, J reporting. So
Right. That sounds good.
okay. So so he does not have to be worried that interfiling was done multiple times and the application when the 485 was submitted, clock is reset.
Sounds to me like the employer and the lawyers are doing everything right.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, because he's really started looking for jobs because he's scared that, the whole organization might go down. So
Is it a company is it a big company, a small company?
it's a huge company. Yeah.
He should be all right.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Then again, I have a friend out in Silicon Valley who told me yesterday they laid off 70% of their workforce. So who the heck knows?
Yeah. I mean, his company went through rough times 2 years ago, August 2020. They laid off 1/3 of their workforce, and I think something bad is coming now too. So he's concerned.
I think the economy is really about to go badly, which of course is a great time for the stupid immigration law firm to raise their fees. But what do you know? Is that all you had?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Have a nice
Thanks,
evening.
you thinker. See you, buddy.
See ya.
All right. Let's say hi to Chanel. Chanel, are you driving or are you parked?
I'm parked, Jim.
Awesome. How you doing?
Hi. So I have a question. So my mom, I petitioned for her. Are you hearing me?
I gotcha.
Okay. So I petitioned for my mom in November for her green card, and they sent a letter to us asking for a joint sponsor. And I'm active duty in the military, so I had the impression that I could go off the 100% poverty guidelines because I made $29,000 last year. But they said since I'm married and I have my husband, myself, and my mom, my income isn't enough for her because I have to meet the 125 since I'm petitioning for my parent. However, I got a family friend of ours to fill out a joint sponsor, but she's retired and she made $60,000, but it was all from her retirement fund. I don't know if that's acceptable for them or not.
So to me, it all depends on where that income lands on her tax return. So if it lands in her adjusted gross income, the answer is yes, you can use it. If the answer is it's not in her adjusted gross income, it's in a different line of her tax returns, then they usually won't consider that.
Okay. So it has to be in her AGI, not her gross income, because it wasn't her gross income was 60,000, but I think after taxes, after everything that was taxable, it was 23, and then we included because she just paid off her mortgage, so we included her so that they can see that she doesn't have any debt ratio. So we wanted to see if that could work.
I mean, don't forget you need 3 good years, not just one. That's one issue. And
yes.
Two,
so she made 60,000. Then the previous year she made another 60,000, and then in 2019 she made 72 because she retired in 2019.
So again, it all comes back to the
But
adjusted. It all comes back to the adjusted gross income. Whatever it says in each line, that's what's going to carry the day.
okay, because they asked for a 1040 form, 1040 tax form, so we sent that information to them. But for the last time we sent a tax transcript, but this time they asked for a 1040 just for this current year. So I wasn't sure if they would want like the previous years, like the last 3 years, or what.
How
So
many
I just
times?
sent like
How many times have they gone back and forth on the co-sponsor issue or the sponsor issue?
So they sent us 3 art requests for evidence. They sent us one asking proof for my active duty military status, and then they asked for proof for that she was my mom, and then they asked for another proof that for a joint sponsor. So I had to send them my birth. I sent them my birth certificate in the initial package. So I had to write a letter saying that her name is on my birth certificate on that part, and I just sent pictures of us together.
I'm sorry they're giving you such trouble, especially considering the fact that you're serving our country in the military. So thank you for your service, and on behalf of everyone watching, thank you for what you're doing.
Yes, thank you for your support.
All right, Chanel, good luck.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a good day. All right, probably got time for 1 or 2 more. Let's say hi to BLK. Hello, BLK.
Hi.
You there? How you
Yes, I'm
doing?
here. My question, I'm okay. Yeah, my question is, I filed an I-130 for my husband, and he was accepted into a graduate school. So now he's filing his I-20. Can you tell me what's gonna happen? What can we expect?
Okay, so let's back up. So you're a U.S. citizen?
I am.
And where's your spouse?
Ghana.
And you filed an I-130 petition for him? Hello?
Yes.
You filed a marriage-based petition for him? When did you file the I-130?
December 19th, 2021.
And so that case is still pending.
Yes.
And now, despite the fact that that's pending, he's reached out to a U.S. university to grad school, and they've given him an I-20, and you're wondering if the embassy is going to give him a visit, an F1 visa to the United States. Is that the question?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that because an F1 visa is a non-immigrant visa.
Okay.
And that means that when you go to get your non-immigrant visa, has he already filed the DS-160 for the non-immigrant visa, or he's just sort of starting that by getting the I-20?
He's just starting by getting the I-20.
Yeah. So you need to be a little bit careful because an non-immigrant student visa is inconsistent with an I-130. So if you were going to do what you did, you probably should have done the student visa first, then filed the marriage-based case, because usually what they will ask, has anyone ever filed an immigrant visa petition for you? And he's going to have to say yes. And once he says yes, then they're going to know that he's done what's called demonstrated immigrant intent. He's raised his hand and said, I want to go live in the United States with my spouse, BLK. And so once they get a whiff of that, they're going to think not that he's really coming to go to grad school, but just that he's trying to jump the line and get here faster than all the other spouses waiting back in Ghana to come to be with their spouse. Does that make sense?
It does. May I ask about the presidential, I guess, order about dual intention for F1 visas? It happened in 2021. Does that affect this?
I don't know anything about that. You would think an immigration lawyer would know these things. I'll tell you what, let me look into that and I can talk about it on Tuesday's show. That's news to me, but I'd be happy to look into it.
Okay, super. Yeah,
Thanks.
that was my question.
Have a great night.
You do the same. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, everybody, that'll do it for today's show. Thanks for tuning in. We will not be live on Monday. Monday is the 4th of July. I hope you all have a nice 4th of July weekend. We will do 4 shows next week. It'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the Tuesday show should be at 4 p.m. It's at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, the 5th of July. Until then, be safe and be kind to each other.